This is episode 98 of the Seller Club podcast. And before we drop that beat, we're just going to sneak in really quick and say happy anniversary to ourselves. Seller Club podcast, 2 years.
Yay!
Happy Ken-iversary and Glen-iversary to me.
2 years.
Happy
years.
Glen-iversary and anniversary to Ken.
We are at 98th episode. 99 is going to be special. I know 100 is coming, but 99 is going to be special. 100 will be extra special with a cherry on top.
Oh, I can't wait. We're working on it. We're working on it behind the scenes right now. Yep. And also, not only is it our anniversary, our 2-year anniversary, but it is also October. So for this special 2-year anniversary episode, we are bringing you guys 2 feature creatures, some of our absolute faves. It's a father-son duo who sell on eBay together. So we're going to let them bring you into the actual episode, but make sure you go say hi to us on social media and wish us happy anniversary, and we'll say hooray and celebrate with you guys. Have you guys discussed how you're going to share a beat drop?
No, I haven't explained to Evan what
I don't even know
what that means.
Yeah.
That's making you the most nervous.
So, can I tell us?
Absolutely.
So,
tell it.
in their podcast, they do, usually there's an intro where they chit chat with each other, and then to officially kick off the podcast, someone usually says, drop that beat, and then they have a theme song that comes in. And
we're about to drop that beat.
For the record, my name is Chuck Van Pelt.
I am Evan Van Pelt.
Drop
that
beat.
All right,
that was fun.
That was beautiful. Yeah. Okay, guys, so here we are, day 3 of eBay Open live. We are all alive here still on day 3 at the Seller Club podcast.
Yeah.
Booth. I have some unicorns with me on the air right now. This is a father-son eBay duo where the dad also works at eBay. So I don't know anybody else like you guys.
It's a lot of eBay in that equation, isn't there?
There's a lot.
It's the common denominator.
But there's 2 of you too, so it kind of good, diffuses amongst both of you, so that's good.
Right.
But can you tell me, first of all, you told us your names, but how long have you guys been working together on eBay stuff?
Together? Well, let's see. I mean, I've been selling on eBay, and I'm Chuck, the dad, for the record. I've been selling on eBay since the late 90s. It's always been a passion of mine, even well before I worked at eBay. I've been working there for 10 years. So he was born in 2002, and so his whole life has had this eBay backdrop to it. So I think in that regard...
So he's an e-baby.
He's an eBay.
I mean, he is.
Yeah.
In the eBay merch store, you can buy a little eBaby onesie. Did you have one of those?
There's an eBaby onesie?
Yes.
No, I don't think I had one of those.
Oh, well, you could still
It's
get
not
one
too
probably.
late.
Yeah. Once an eBaby, always an eBaby.
Yeah, but so he's always had that backdrop to his life, and so there's been garage sales and estate sales in his life, and shipping materials and all of the things that go along with selling on eBay. And he's been involved in terms of just going to garage sales with me and that kind of thing, and I think he's enjoyed that. But it was only in the last year that we decided, he's kind of at a point in his life where he's trying to figure things out, and I'll let him elaborate on this to figure out, what's my future going to be. So I want to clear the runway for him just to, figure things out and do what he wants to do. And what better way to clear that but then give him some opportunity than to have him take part in the eBay business. So,
right.
And for me, it works great because I need to scale. My constraint is just in how much I can process on my own.
Right.
I can source inventory, but I can only ship so much. I can only maintain so much inventory, and then things start to slow down and the process breaks down. So he's come in, and I gave him, a little bit of territory. We carved off what parts of the business that he would own and work at every day. And I'll let him take it over from there and tell us, he can tell you what that is. And how he's been doing it.
Tell us about your territory in the business.
I mostly do the shipping and inventory organization.
My favorite part.
Yeah. And so he'll list stuff and send it out to the garage, and I'll file it away. And every day I go out and, the 15 to 20 items we typically sell, I'll pack and ship and take to the post office.
Awesome.
By the way, how many items do we have to ship when we get home from this event?
Do you want me to check?
Yeah.
Sure.
Tell us.
I think last time I looked, it was in the 30s.
Heck yeah.
Which for a store that's on time off?
Right.
It's pretty good for time off.
Exactly. Mine is also.
It's up to 39.
Excellent.
39.
Are you running sales or anything right now?
The only thing I have running is a coupon. I sell of about almost 4,000 active listings I have, about half or slightly more than half are music media, records, tapes, and CDs. And I have a running coupon there. I have a very aggressive coupon. If you buy 3 or more of those items, you get 50% off, 50.
Wow.
And I
That's
can do
a deal,
that.
folks.
This is a deal. Well, I can do it because of the media mail, right?
Right.
It doesn't cost any more to add items to the package. But the crazy thing about media is, the margins are thin, and the price for one, like, let's say, cassette tape album, I have to charge at least $10 for it to make any money because of the shipping, $10 shipped. But now if I sell another $10 cassette and another $10 cassette, that would be $30 total. But I'm still only at $4 and change for the shipping. So now I could cut that price in half, really, and still make good money. And what ends up happening is people use that coupon, they buy 10 items or 20 items. So when you have thousands
and
listed,
then you have 39 to ship.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah.
But is that so when they use that coupon, I'm just curious, are those orders would that be separate within that 39? Would that be one of the 39 or would that be 10 of the 39?
I don't know how it counts that. Are those 39 orders?
I think it
39
counts
items?
orders. I'm pretty sure.
So one of those.
I'm
orders
like
could
80%
contain-
sure it counts orders.
I think I think it does.
Actually,
count
I
orders,
might be
but
able to check if
when
someone
you use
ordered
the coupon, that would all be considered an order, right?
That's a great question.
By the way,
as an eBay employee, I should know that
if you
information.
listeners hear screaming right now, that's because 3 of the 5 Backstreet Boys are here in the background. So they're literally here doing an eBay live, which is so cool. AJ, my favorite, and Brian and Nick are here.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. But understandably, there are people losing their minds periodically in the background. So that's why. At this moment in time that we're recording this.
So looking at I'm literally looking right now at the orders I have to ship, and there's one order here with 2 cassettes in it, and they are both. What band is that, Anna?
Well, Van Halen, of
Van
course.
Halen.
Yes.
No, actually, technically it's Van Hagar, if you want to be, because they are the albums For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and OU812, which are both Sammy Hagar at the helm.
I noticed in your title, though, it does say Van Halen.
It does. I didn't put Van Hagar.
So
I should have put Hagar as a
described.
keyword.
Item not as described.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
They're coming back.
So
I was told there would be
They're
Sammy
coming
Hagar
back.
in this.
Devastated. Evan, are you relieved that you don't have to do a bunch of haggling? Because I know Chuck to be quite the haggler. Is that...
You mean in terms of sourcing?
Yeah. Are you glad that that's not part of your territory at this time?
A little. I think it's an interesting thing, and I like watching him do it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's tough. I don't know. I'm
It's uncomfortable.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
yeah, how much do you want for this? And kind of nervous, and so
Chuck's
it's
no,
definitely
that's
way.
not how you do
Yeah,
it.
I'm definitely not super well versed in that.
Yeah.
Haggling is a subtle art.
It is
Yeah,
a subtle
it's a
art.
skill you have to build, which I have not.
Yeah, right.
You're trying to build empathy,
Rapport,
credibility, and
yeah.
rapport, and it's such a tightrope you're walking with the person.
You're trying to build rapport. Some people are just jerks about it. And
Well,
unfortunately,
yeah.
sometimes that is effective because bullying is effective, in a bad way, but you do it in the best possible way, which means you're very careful to build rapport and connect with the person. You do. You do it the right way.
I try to be straightforward with people. The main thing about haggle is to know what your top dollar is that you'll pay.
Yeah.
And to understand where your margins are, and that it's okay to go to somebody. I've gone to sales. I can tell you how many times where they had an item that was priced at 4 times what I need to sell it for.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people would just walk away from that. They're like, this person's crazy with this price. But I'll go up and I'll say, especially if it's the end of the day or late or it's hot out.
Yeah.
They just want
They
to
just
piece out
want
of
it
the garage
gone.
sale.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm interested in this. Are you flexible at all on the price? Because I'll be honest with you, and I'll tell people I'm a reseller. Like I fix old cameras is usually what I say. I fix them up and sell them. Cameras is another category I'm really in, and so I'll ask. I'll say, look, I'm interested in this. Honestly, I'm going to fix this up. I'm going to sell it. I have a certain price point I'm trying to hit. And are you open to me just giving you an offer? And I said, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'll give you an offer. And if it's not okay with you, that is 100% okay. We'll go our separate ways. And it's almost more often than not, they're just excited that to do a haggle, to do it with somebody who's, genuine and honest and kind and respectful. Yeah. And sometimes I'll end up with the deal. And sometimes it's crazy. I've had people that are just like, I like you. You can have this. And I'm like, don't give it to me. I want to give you some money for this. This is rare, of course, but I'm like, yeah, we should both get some vig on the deal here.
For sure.
I don't want you to just give it to me. But that's how my haggle thought process works.
Yeah. I feel like you could teach a masterclass on haggling. You could. I was in fact just trying to think. Maybe? Yes. A Chuck Talk.
Chuck Talk.
I feel like you could make like a t-shirt with the acronym of like, are you open to me giving you an offer? Just wear it, right? Like it'd be so many letters, but it'd be kind of funny.
It's funny you mentioned like attire when you go to garage sales, because I'm careful about what I wear. I don't wear like band t-shirts or anything that kind of gives away my angle. I kind of want to come in anonymously and be under the radar at first.
You don't wear your eBay shirts?
No, that would be a no-no. Like that would be instant. Like there are people. I go to some garage sales, and this last weekend is a good example where the guy had a bunch of vintage electronics and all stuff right up my alley, and there was several other people there that were all looking through it. And you could tell this guy. He said he was moving. He needed to clear everything out, but he really enjoyed talking about this stuff with people. And he was chit-chatting with this guy, and I chatted with him a little bit. And his prices were great, so I just grabbed my IKEA bag out of the car and just started filling it up and getting stuff. And while I was picking things off the shelf, he's talking to this other guy, and he says, I'm so glad that you are interested in all this stuff. Some people just come here and they just want to sell it all on eBay. And I'm like, oh, shoot. I'm sitting in the back of the garage like, has he figured me out? I know. And so I was like, and my rule of thumb is I don't ever lie, ever. I always tell people.
Not even by omission?
If they ask straight out.
I
don't need to walk in the door and tell them my whole life story.
Don't
but
you?
If they
Just
say.
kidding. No, you don't. You totally don't.
Not
you totally
really.
don't.
Not
really.
Like, what are you doing with this stuff? Well, I buy and fix cameras, and ones that won't fit into my personal collection go on, get sold. And I just really enjoy selling cameras.
Yes.
And that's what I'll tell them. Or with music CDs, that one's a little different because most people who have a collection of music CDs just literally want it to evaporate from their garage.
Yeah.
And so I'll say, if someone has a particularly great collection of CDs, they may have a couple hundred, and I'll say, what do you want for everything? And they're like, oh, I never thought about that. Give me $20 for everything. That'll work out to like a dime.
Right. You're like, yes, done.
Yeah. And so that's not even really a haggle. That's just like, I'm doing you a favor of hauling this away.
Right.
For a few bucks. And that works out pretty well. Yeah. That's kind of my.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, so you have all this experience. I love this idea that you kind of carved out some territory for Evan to start with. How do you feel like it's going as far as, getting really comfortable or like really owning that part of the business, right? Are you feeling like, okay, yeah, I've got that down, I want to expand and reach into another part of the business? Or do you, and I would like both your opinions on this, like how's it going so far? Like, let's assess.
I feel like I've gotten a really good handle on shipping and stuff. I'm pretty confident in like being able to do it. And even the organization part, like I'm adapting my own organization into it. I'm like, I feel like it would work better if we did it this way and kind of stuff. So I feel like I've been putting more of my own input in there.
Yeah.
And trying to also improve it as if it's kind of also my own. And it is kind of scary to get into newer parts Like, I mean, even initially with shipping, I was like, but then
Yeah.
once I started doing it, I'm like, okay, this is actually,
most of us are like with shipping at first.
So, but with like taking pictures and listing, I was very kind of tentative to that too. But even just before we came here to eBay Open, he's like, here's how to do it. And honestly, now I'm like, I feel like I can do that. That seems very doable.
Nice.
And I even have some stuff of mine that I would want to practice taking pictures and selling.
Yeah.
Like, because I already have the items, like stuff that I want to get rid of.
Yeah.
That I want to take pictures and sell.
Yeah. Awesome. What do you think? What's your official evaluation?
I want to ask Evan if he feels like I'm giving him the room he needs to like make his own decisions and work the operational part of the business the way you want to do it.
I feel like, yeah. I feel like whenever an issue comes up,
I'm trying.
Whenever an issue comes up, we'd like discuss it, and it feels definitely like a good back and forth.
Good.
Of you give me feedback, and then sometimes I'll be like, oh hey, maybe you could do things this way, and that's what makes a good partnership in the business.
It's hard coming from a corporate environment, and that's your first go-to mentally is how to run things.
Yeah.
And so I try to remember, okay, what things do I know from my regular workday that are going to be valuable here, and what things are not going to be valuable. So I try to put aside all the managing this as a business. And remember that we're a partnership.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what I want out of this, is for him to feel like he is an equal partner, and that we're growing this business together. And I get a lot of personal satisfaction out of building this together.
Of course. Well, and kind of speaking of that too, coming from a corporate background, this is I'm calling you guys unicorns because it's such a unique situation. And kind of like you mentioned, Chuck, earlier, like, Evan, you're your own person, you're figuring out your life, you're figuring out, what path you want to take. And you kind of have this interesting example sitting right in front of you, who's like a child of two worlds, right? Like, you're the entrepreneur and the corporate person, the eBay seller and the eBay employee. So you kind of are privy to some parts of both sides of that. And obviously you're jumping in on the eBay side, eBay seller side. But can you tell us a little bit about that, kind of what that's like for you to be figuring out your path? Because like so many of us are figuring out our path, like whether we're, in our early adulthood or middle or later or retired, like literally most of us are still figuring out our path. So I'm just curious where you're at with that side of it.
I feel like I'm still very like, what am I even doing? Like,
Yeah.
I have like, it's very hard for me to find a direction. I feel like I've always been like that. Some other people have had an idea and have been working towards that, but I've been very like,
yeah,
I'll figure it out when I'm in college. And then I was there and I'm like, what am I doing?
You're like, oh, I'm supposed to be figuring it out. Like,
yeah.
Is anything getting figured out?
But I definitely feel like working on the eBay stuff and even seeing what he does and seeing him interact with other sellers, it's very interesting to see. And it makes me like, oh, that is something I could do, like running an eBay business and like what that entails. And like when I see the complexity of it and like see more of the inner workings, it makes me more like open. Maybe open's not the right word, but like I'm like, oh, that is something I could do. Like it's no longer like amorphous. It's kind of like I can kind of see it more clearly.
Definitely.
And then that's a good starting point. And from there, you can kind of like touch other worlds of like, because people sell like collectibles or stuff.
Oh yeah.
Or like you can put your own interest into the eBay selling, and then that can branch off into other stuff.
Yeah, it definitely can. That's a path that's just full of possibilities, And I mean, that's really appealing for a lot of us. I mean, I was kind of the same as you. Like, there was not something career-wise that I was like, oh yes, I've known I wanted to be a plastic surgeon since I was 5. Like I just never had that. I was like, I don't know, I'm interested in a lot of things. I feel like I'm a jack of all trades in some ways. I don't ever want to get bored, so I'm just like it's all of our own like kind of internal ingredients that are helping us determine like how we even approach finding a path, let alone like the path itself, right? So I think it's really cool. I mean, you have a great opportunity and you're appreciating it, which I appreciate. But yeah, I think it's just cool to hear that too, because I'm sure you've talked to a bunch of sellers here at eBay Open, but if you talk to, any group of sellers, any group of like entrepreneurs, it's the process. It's like a constant work in progress, and yet like there is so much like satisfaction, and when things really do click into place, right, and you're like, yes, I'm on the right path, that's really gratifying. So it's worth continuing to dial in and figure out, and I just think you're like off to the races with it. Like, it's so cool to see that. I also wanted to ask you, like, this is a relatively new, obviously you've been father and son for a long time, right?
My whole life.
Your whole life, in fact. But this new venture with eBay together is, only like, what, a year old, you said?
About a
year. So what are some other things that you guys connect about or have enjoyed doing in the past? Like, is any of that related to how this transpired? Or I'm just curious if there's other stuff that you've always like loved to do together, or, similar things you've enjoyed.
Do you want to speak to that first?
I'm trying to think of definitely even when I wasn't part of the like actual business, even going to like the bins and going like waking up in the morning and going to garage sales and finding like that cool thing, which is still like related, but it was like still different a little bit.
It wasn't like official business back then,
and even anything where he has like a project going on and he's kind of like, let me teach you this thing about this thing. Like, I've like seeing him do random, like he would fix up pinball machines, and it was cool to like watch him do that and see his progress.
Is there anything he can't do?
No, we just built a deck in our backyard, and so that's like,
I'm gonna go ahead and answer that. No.
Yeah, and so that was cool to be like
to stay busy,
to see him like us working on the deck together, and him being like, this is what we're gonna do, and I'm kind of like learning.
Yeah.
And now like when I'm in a hardware store and I see a thing, I'm like, I know what that does.
I know what that tool is.
Yeah.
Why are there so many?
It's funny. I think that, and I've learned this just later in life. I feel like you constantly need to teach your kids what success looks like, and how to be successful is just having them learn what it feels like. And so, in order to do that, you have to give them things to give them opportunities to be successful, and also be cognizant that when they aren't successful, that you need to make it okay to do that too, and learn from it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's been kind of a challenge to find these things where I can give him these opportunities. And I've always felt in my heart that if he would just have successes in these areas, that he would like a switch would flip. Because I remember when I was a kid, there were times where I had successes or did something where somebody said, I'm proud of you. I noticed you did that. And that was awesome. And how great those feelings were informative.
Definitely.
And that I remember every one of those moments when someone in my youth affirmed me and recognized me. And so I try so hard to do that. And, I feel like it's only been a year of us doing this, but I really, I look at him and I feel like he gets it. I see he'll come in sometimes from working on something and he's like, look what I figured out.
All fired
and I'm
up.
like, yes, it's working.
I know. That is
I don't know if you feel that way at all. Yeah.
I definitely like when I figure something out like that, where it's like, oh, this would work better if it was like this way or something. And then I come to you and I'm like, look at this thing I figured out. Or even like something with like the eBay UI or something. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. And I bring it to you and I'm like, look at this thing I found out.
He's like one of my biggest bug reporters for eBay.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
He has a straight line to the people who can fix it at eBay. So
which is also awesome.
Like there was like a weird specific bug I found where like if you specifically on the mobile app, if you sort by like SKU or something and then like refresh it, then it would like have the same listing twice, but then
would show up in the list. It wasn't really listed twice.
But the second listing would be on top of a other listing, so it would basically get rid of one and you'd see two. And I was like, it's a really weird specific circumstance, but I'm like, well, that's cool that I like figured that out, and I figured out how to replicate it. So I was like,
to replicate it in everything.
You're like the dream bug reporter, honestly.
He is. Well, he'll give me these bugs, and then I'll record them. I'll screen cap it all, and then I'll submit it, and I'll be like, a seller reported this to me.
I mean, I'm a seller, I guess.
Yeah, you definitely
he
are.
is. I just don't want him to think that I'm like a bug nepotist. That I'm, this kid from a seller.
That could be your next stage name. Bug nepotist. I absolutely love that for you. That's awesome.
Cool
well,
band name.
Let me ask you, since we are here at eBay Open, what's it been like experiencing this together? Because this is your first time doing this together too, right?
Yeah.
Tell me what you think of.
I mean, it's mostly been we've been together a little bit, but I've mostly been going to panels myself and stuff, which has been really cool to see and like hear sellers talk about how they do stuff.
Yeah.
Hear about things that eBay is doing that are like improving the stuff. And I'm like, oh, that would be cool if that was a thing.
Right. You're like, yes, please
and it's
do
cool
that.
to hear about, because since I don't really do the like sourcing and listing stuff, it's cool to hear more about that, and I kind of can wrap my mind around it a little bit more.
Totally.
And then I just watched him present.
And
that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see.
I'm so glad he made it to one of my sessions.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, for your audience, me and my colleague Jonathan did 6 different sessions that were kind of flipping the script on regular con presentations. Hey, we're going to tell you all the stuff about how great we are. eBay makes room for listening to sellers, and we did 6 different sessions where they can come to us, and we ask the audience questions, and we kind of flip it around. And I'm glad he could make it to that, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and got to see me doing the thing I do every day.
Yes, Ken loves to call you and Jonathan the peanut butter and jelly of eBay. I don't know if you've heard that before, but Evan's laughing.
He said that in front of Jamie once, and Jamie was like, "What is he talking about?"
I mean,
it was kind of like, "Oh my god, well, whatever. It sounds good,
it's consistent.
So I'm gonna roll with it."
Like everyone's favorite sandwich, duh.
We're trying to figure out which one of us is the peanut butter and which one is the jelly.
I don't know. I mean, this is a perfect Kenism where like he's the only one who really knows.
I know.
So we can continue to ask him.
It's one of those things that it doesn't really matter the meaning. It sounds lovely and fun.
You're like, okay, great. And who's the bread, or how does that work? It's like you can't like try to deconstruct it.
No, don't.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's 2 things that go great together.
Yes.
They're a little different,
but very complementary.
Yeah. And they get things done. They solve hunger for people.
Completely.
For small children.
That's right. That's awesome. Oh man, I was gonna ask you one more thing about eBay Open. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask if there was anything, really either of you, open for anyone to answer this, but I'm curious if there's any like one thing so far that stood out to you that you're like, I'm definitely gonna like immediately implement this when I go home, or like risen to the top of the priority list, because it's so much information, especially going to sessions and learning all this new stuff. So yeah, I'm just wondering if anything's already very clearly like risen to the top so far.
I feel like it's kind of hard off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I wrote a few notes when I was doing some of the panels, but unfortunately right now it's kind of,
no,
I don't have
okay.
a specific
That's
example.
how I am too. I have to like unpack it all. So I couldn't even answer this question
It's a lot,
myself.
right?
Yeah.
This week is just
yeah,
really packs in a lot, but I've come away with just a general excitement and motivation. Like,
yeah,
let's go. Like, I can't wait to go ship those 39 items.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. I have been feeling that too.
Yeah.
Of like just being just the general vibe of like seeing other sellers, what they do, and it's their passion, and I'm like, wow, this, you really can do this. Like, this is a cool thing.
Evan shared earlier that he was starting to learn the techniques of photography of items. And what he didn't tell you was that we just built a new photography station in our garage.
Oh, awesome.
So we have the shipping station and now the photo station. And we set up lighting, and I did a bunch of research on just trying to get that all dialed in. And so now I'm super excited to roll this thing out. And every time I implement some new infrastructure in my business, I realize how much inefficiency I had before I did that.
You're like,
and
I was
suddenly
putting
I'm
up
like,
with
I'm
this
10 times faster
for so
now.
long. Yeah, I'm the same way.
It's so amazing. I know you have a pretty evolved shipping situation. Do you have like a photo area too, or?
I do. It's really funny. I live in a really old house, and I bought this amazing like photo booth a little after we moved there, so like just less than a year that I've had this photo booth, and it's incredible, except I measured everything like to the T. The thing is like an inch too tall for my basement. So I had to like really MacGyver it to like cram it into like between the floor and the ceiling. But I might be about to move that to kind of a different space where it will fit better. But that, I love it though. Like the lighting always looks great. And also I do use like the AI background remover and put stuff in the studio a lot. And so it's just a really well lit like white background mostly like already, and then I can enhance it somewhat on eBay, and I do usually do that, but it works. Like it looks way better than whatever I had before, and I have had several iterations of it, But yeah, I finally kind of broke down and got like a more professional setup in that way, and it made me want to take photos.
Yes.
You know, I was like, okay, yeah, this looks great.
Well, just giving yourself some space around it to manage the flow of inventory is huge. I was doing everything in my office in a small photo cube, and now I've gone bigger, and I'm a big believer that photo quality is plays huge into your earnings. And in fact, I was in one of the sessions earlier, and it just literally popped into my head when we were talking about, we did it in a survey, a live poll in the audience, and we asked them where they feel like their time is most effectively spent in the listing process. And number one with the bullet was photos. And I was like, I'm so glad to hear you all say that. I believe it.
Yeah.
Right in that moment, it popped into my head. I said, premium photos bring premium prices.
Cha-ching.
It was like applause, like
and the
that is
crowd
now
goes
my
wild.
Trademark. Premium photos bring premium prices.
100%.
Gonna make T-shirts.
You should listen.
Yeah,
you should.
it really is. I mean,
yeah,
I feel like I can command the top of the market prices because my photos are solid.
Yeah,
I do a pretty good job of describing the details and defects on the item, and that gives credibility.
Absolutely.
So I get, if the price range on a camera is 100 to 200, I'm gonna go for the 200.
Yeah,
and I'll usually get it, or at least take an offer in the 190, 180 range.
Right, and you're not just like shooting for the moon and hoping to land among the stars. You're like, no, I like put in the work to deserve this price. Like,
so trust,
you can stand on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trust and credibility is worth a lot. And buyers will pay a premium for that level of comfort that they're going to get an item that they expected, and they're not even wanting. It's not even like I want the best item on eBay. It's like I want to know that the item I got is the way that it is described and photographed, and these photographs are trustworthy, so I'm gonna go with this guy instead of the shot on the dirty carpet or whatever. And I get people, everyone has a different situation with their photos, but
you can do the best
a photo box is like $20.
Right.
You can get started very inexpensively.
You can. And I mean, I've always loved that, one of the things eBay champions is the idea of economic opportunity for all.
That's right.
And like, that's even part of it. Like, you don't have to just jump in with a professional, this, that, and the other. Like, you can literally start with what you have. You can learn the basic like skills and steps to getting those good quality listings up. And like, that is the best thing you can do to get started. So it's cool that, Evan has like this playground to like learn all that stuff and get through all the like what might be barriers to entry or friction for like somebody just starting from scratch. Like, but I'm wondering how long it will be before, plug your ears, Chuck, before you take off with your own store. So.
Nothing would make me happier than if he found his own angle to this and like took what he learned. I mean, and maybe we'll do this for a while and it's not for him, and that's totally fine. I want him to do what makes him happy, but if he was to, become like the Pokemon King of Oregon or whatever, I'd be like, let's go. Like,
great
that's
band name
run
right
that
there.
business. Pokemon King of Oregon. Yeah.
Good. You can have rival bands or rival stage names. Well, I know you like to stay busy, and you're like really getting the taste for all of this, which is really fun. So I'm just going to challenge you to go ahead and start your father-son eBay podcast as soon as you can, as soon as you need another project, because
I'm liking this.
I would love to hear you guys talk about this. Like, talk about your weekly stuff. Like, that's actually, I don't know if you know this, Chuck. We may have talked about this before, but I feel like I was raised by the Scavenger Life podcast. Like, I learned everything about starting to sell on eBay from them. And that's what they did. They just talked about their numbers every week, what they sourced, their best and worst sales, like all kinds of just those like weekly, the grind, right? The daily life of the reseller kind of stuff.
That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah. And like, honestly, that and just basically discussing the nuances of that, what happened that week, taught me like literally everything I needed to know. And gave me the confidence to start because, I believed like, oh, this is doable. It's just like you were saying earlier. It was like clear enough for me to see it. Like, oh yeah, I could actually do this. So I'm just going to issue you that little homework assignment, if you don't mind.
We'll see if we can squeeze it in.
I wish you
between
would.
the million other things.
I know. There's always a million things.
Yeah,
but
no, but I do like, as part of my job with eBay is engaging with sellers. And so I really do enjoy that. And I'm so fortunate that I work for a company that clears the runway for someone like me that is super passionate about the product, really just genuinely wants good customer experiences.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say, at the end of the day, my dream is for eBay to be awesome and not to suck.
That's another great slogan. You're like full of those like zingers today. I love it. Well, speaking of a million things, we're on the last day of eBay Open and there's still a million things to go see and do. So is it okay if we wrap up here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been a total pleasure, honor, so much fun.
It has. And I just want to tell you what an inspiration your story, your eBay origin story has been to me. And I think it's something I think about when I consider, bringing Evan into the business and how you made choices in your life that were the best choices for you.
100%.
And you didn't think about what the world expected from you.
Correct.
You went the route
I thought
that
about
you
it a
wanted
lot
to go.
for too long.
Yeah.
Right.
I want Evan to internalize that
Yeah.
lesson. I think it's very
I
valuable.
love hearing people's origin stories. Like like when I heard like Ken talking about his stuff, and and then when I visited his shipping station, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was like when I saw his shipping station, I was like,
that's inspiring.
It was great. It was like I was like in awe.
I know, same.
It's like a theme park for shipping.
I know.
It is. It's like so fun. It makes you want to ship. It really does. Yeah, I've been there too, helping them do like a big inventory processing thing, setting up their system, and I was just like, this is incredible. Like it was. Yeah, I was fired up too about my own business just leaving there. Great environment, but thank you guys so much for coming on. We will have.
Thanks for having
we'll
us.
have to do this
pleasure.
again. So
been a lovely time.
yes, enjoy the last few dregs of eBay Open. We're like almost wrapping up the last day. I can't believe it.
Will do.
You guys have fun.